Morning. Right, let's start off with this. You'd think at the age of 45, having shaved for almost 32 years, 30 odd years, I should be able to shave and not cut myself. But no, this morning I managed to cut myself, so excuse that. Right, I'm going to give you a quick live demo on using the UV, the Specular UV gun lamp, so you can see what it's like that I brought up in my review yesterday. So what we're going to do is I'm going to spin you round. I've got everything set up. Let me just spin you around. So here's the UV lamp. The paint's already in the pot, in the spray gun. I use the Glasurit. It's what I've been using for the last sort of 4 or 5 months, like I said. I like it. There's the Sickens in an aerosol can. Again, you can get it in a 750ml, so whatever suits you, but that's my preference. So it's in there. Sits in the gun all the time. All I do is just top it up. You need to make sure you got your pot blacked so that it doesn't cure, because if it gets UV rays, it's going to cure. So no messing there. Right, in the kit you get a battery charger, a slot for your spare batteries, and then you've got the batteries that come in the actual lamp itself, and a set of health and safety UV goggles, which you must wear. It's really important, and wear gloves. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you up here. So I've got a bit of Q1 13mm masking foam there. The reason I have that is I always soft edge mask around the area I'm priming. And the reason for that is it keeps it really small. And when I put my guide coat on, I can just peel this back and the guide coat will go that extra bit. So when you sand it, and you'll see all of this, you know, you can see you're not going to have a whole panel full of overspray. I know a lot of guys say, well, just get the paper folded over or fold the tape over. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Let me spin you back. Nothing wrong with that. That's the old way of doing it, and it works. If you like doing it that way, do it that way. I just find the foam is quicker and easier for me. And when I peel this off, you'll see why. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put you on the jig tripod, so hopefully you can see that all good. I won't be able to see your comments and I'll have my mask on, but you'll be able to see what's going on. So let's spin you around quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a half coat, and that will be with a sort of 15 to 30 second flash off with the lamp, and then I'm going to put on one, possibly 2 full coats with a minute flash off in between. So I'm going to be timing that on my watch, just because I didn't want the timer in the way. But you guys, you know, if you're watching this live, you're going to see it, so there's no messing around, there's no jigging figures and stuff like that. So let's spin you around and let's crack on with it. My mask is going on. You should wear a mask, health and safety, all of these things. So you probably won't be able to hear me, but you'll see what's going on. Right, mask on. Oh, just one thing. That's just a little 1mm HVLP gun. It's actually a starter, a really old one of mine, and it works perfectly. Goggles. So if you can hear me, what you're doing is you're moving it around, the rays are going through and they're penetrating it and curing the primer. So that's about 10 seconds. We're going to give it for 5 more seconds. That's it. That's gone off now. I'm going to put on 1 full wet coat. So now, one minute. Right, so everything's extracted now. So you do this for 1 minute. What was I going to say to you? Right, the reason you might think it's translucent, you can see straight through it, and you'll see this, is because the product has to be translucent. It has to allow the rays through to help with the cure. Don't worry about the little specks in there, because this all sands down really nicely. Now, this is not a surfacer primer. This is actually, it has a high build on it. So it'll help you get rid of any imperfections in your finish work if you have any. Obviously, it's always best practice to try and get your repair as smooth as possible. So here we go. Now, the other advantages with the Sikkens, I mean, I don't use Sikkens, but the Sikkens will turn matte when it's cured. So that will help you to know when you've fully cured it. This doesn't turn matte, but you can feel it. But we're not, oh, I've been talking, so anyway, we're pretty much there. That's it. It's gone off. So a little bit of rattle can guide coat. I use U-Pole. I also use the powder stuff. What I tend to do now, as if you can see this, I will pull away the soft edge masking foam. It still leaves the rest of the masking in place, and it creates a soft edge again because you've got that little lip on that paper that you took off. Not that there, because that's just folded down, but you've got a little lip. So what that does is any extra overspray in that area, your guide coat will now cover it. Okay, so there we are. That's, let me spin you back around. I still got the glasses on. So that's pretty much it. You can see I've primed that now. It's gone off. There's nothing more to do with it. That's how quick it is, you know. None of this clean out a gun, 2K filler, occupying the booth for ages, having to put the lamp on it. We're done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sand it. I use this Norton Cyclonic range. This is the disc. This is around a 400, and this is also what I use to prep the panel. So before you prime it, you need to prep it with 400 grit. That's what you want to be priming onto. So what I'm going to do is just give the first couple of sands this, and then we'll... See how well that sands. I have an interface pad on here. No, that's just up. I got a little interface pad on here because there's a bit of a nice curve to it, so you want to keep it nice and smooth. I just come on the top. So that's probably as far as I want to go with the 400. Now I'm going to drop down to the Cyclonic pink one, which is the primer Hold on, this is the primer finishing. And also, I mean, I wet and dry, so I would typically have wet and dried here, but now I'm not going to. I'm just going to quickly show you this. So there we go. I'm going to take you off of this, zoom you in. So you can see it's translucent, you can see the area repaired underneath, but it is totally covered. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about a bleed through or anything like that. And if you do break through, let me just spin. If you do break through, don't panic, because you're looking at 30 seconds to put another coat of primer on it. So just whack another little bit on and off you go. So the kit I was just showing you was the Specular. Yeah, it's definitely a good option. Between this and the Tesla, those are the ones I would tend to use every day in my workshop. So I hope you found that useful, and I look forward to speaking to you all later, and if you've got any questions, shoot them over. Cheers now.